It's the second of two semifinals here from the birthplace of hockey. My name's Dayton Camo, welcoming you inside the Wishant Sportsplex here in Windsor, Nova Scotia. It's the Mount Academy U19 Saints and the Kings Edge Hill School Highlanders. The Ross St. Netherwood Riverhawks picked up a win earlier today over the Mount U18 squad, moving them to the championship game. And the Mount U18 Saints will head off to the third place game. That will get underway right before the championship game later this afternoon here from Windsor. We'll get your starting goaltenders in just a moment. But right now we're focused on puck drop at center ice. We're underway here in this second semifinal. The Highlanders with a big home crowd here today, looking to get the energy going. And now quickly off the draw, it's worked in. Pepe with a shot back door, and that one just goes wide of the net. This one's chipped into the Highlanders bench. We'll get a face-off back down in the Mount zone. A great chance early from Adriana Pepe, sending one over to Sydney Sash. Just couldn't find the back of the net. Remember, Adriana Pepe had the overtime winner up at the Ice Jam just a couple of months ago, or a month ago around now. Now on the near side, it's collected by Comstock and sent up the wall. It's poked further into the offensive zone. This one's played up the wall into center. Lefebvre couldn't get a stick on that. And now back into center. Lefebvre lets it go. Picked up by Lila Blanchard. Three different Blanchards on this squad. Allison and Hallie both in between the pipes as Blanchards, and Lila, the forward. And I guess that'll bring us to our starting goaltenders for the Mount Academy Saints. It'll be Hallie Blanchard, number 30, and on the other end of the ice for the Highlanders, also wearing number 30, Sophie Zeller. As this one goes all the way down the ice, 18:23 left to go here in the first period, and an icing call will bring a face-off back down to the Highlanders zone. This one's sent up the wall and back into Highlanders' possession. They'll go cross ice, but it's quickly played back up through the middle. Nobody really able to grab possession as of yet. It's worked up the wall. Alyssa McKinnon trying to get a stick on that one. Now worked into the zone by Baker. That one off a stick and back out to the top of the zone. It's worked in now to the offensive zone by Brea Cormier. She runs into Hallie Blanchard down in the Mount Academy net. And a chance in for the Highlanders. That one's turned aside. A good back check. And now it's worked up the wall. McKinnon. Back into the Highlander zone. Up through center. Now into the Highlander zone. It's worked Up the near side wall. In with this one is Greenwood. She tried to go back door. Just couldn't find the stick. And this one's worked out to the near side. The Saints are on it. It's Pepe. The All Blacks skates. Easy to spot out there. Sent into the zone by Lefebvre. And back to the wall. McDougall from the point. Her shot goes wide. Lefebvre in the corner. Sends one back to the point, but that one didn't get there in time. It's intercepted by Sophie Rideout. Now back up. Go the Saints through center. That one taken away. Up the wall. This one's played up the near side for Atana-Ketchum-Sexemet. Played into the feet. And back up the wall. It's held in at the line though. Puck battle, 3 Highlanders in there for it, working it forward. And now on the far side, Sarah Penny gonna send one down around the wall. And a spin shot from Avery McPhee, is sent into the corner. This one's up around the glass, into the netting, so stoppage of play will come. 14:32 left to go in the opening frame. Shots are even at 3 early in this one. Both teams getting a couple of offensive zone draws and offensive zone chances. And this draw coming to the blocker side of Zettler. McPhee, he will face off here for the Saints, but it's one back by Lord. On the far side, now it's chipped up to center, poked ahead. Moved into the zone by McPhee. She tried to center one out front for Florigel McNeil, but that was taken away pretty quickly. Now McPhee centering one back. This one gets to the slot and all the way back to the point. Bowie trying to work in. She heads one off and they score. Caitlin Herring, right place, right time. She finds the loose puck on the back door and slaps it home. That's a 1-0 lead here for the Saints. Off the draw, this one's played up the wall. McKinnon, Kirsten McKinnon, 2 of them as well on this Saints squad. Down the line and up the near side half wall before McKinnon can get to it. It's played quickly out to center and a chance away for the Highlanders. That shot is put off the blocker of Hallie Blanchard and into the near side corner. Now the net popping off the moorings back behind Hallie Blanchard. And looking to face off here to her glove side. Hallie Blanchard might be in net right now for the Saints, but the backup, Allison Blanchard, might have the most interesting set of pads you've ever seen. She got a cow back in 2021, and her pet cow named Rhea is coincidentally painted on the front of her pads. This one to the back door, kept out by Blanchard. And she's got the rebound as well. So an interesting story there about Allison Blanchard. Allison also spent some time this year with Team Atlantic at the U18 Women's Nationals. Now this one's worked up through center. Pepe just couldn't find that pass that was behind her. Bowie goes cross ice, D to D, and this one's intercepted at the line. No pass up for Pepe. She gets around one, can't get around the second. And now up at the top of the zone, it's picked up by Comstock and move forward. Kept in at the line by the Highlanders. It's worked up to the near side wall. Pepe's there. She's going to play it back into open ice and start back from her own end. Pepe out to center. That one just gets slapped back into the zone by Comstock, and she'll head off for a change. On the far side, that's dumped into the zone by Greve. And now up the near side, it's played down by Hallie Black. No icing is the call. Now up through center, back on the near side to Kajan Saximet, excuse me. She goes to the back door, tried to center one upstairs on the backhand, and that one just taken away. Now a wholesale change coming here for the Highlanders. A whole new offensive line coming up for them. Florigale McNeil works into the offensive zone. It's picked up by McPhee. Now up the wall, Jefford. She walks in. She's going to play one towards the net to the back door. That one just misses on the far side. Comstock giving chase on the near side wall. Heather Lawton tried to whack out one. Would have been a high stick, so maybe fortunate for the Highlanders. She didn't touch up. Now Emma Joan Lawton, the lone Highlander, giving chase down low. This one's held in at the line and worked towards the net. The rebound sits there and cleared to the corner by the Saints. Florigale McNeil working out. She's going to get the red line and send it deep. A little bit more of a faster paced game here in this one than we saw earlier. If you're just tuning into this one, RNS took down the Mount Academy U18 squad. But they might be playing this championship game with 4 defensemen, as Anna Kilfoyle, maybe their best defenseman, went down midway through that game and did not return. And a chance goes up over the back door. Hallie Blanchard's down, and that one's through the crease and into the corner. Great chance for the Highlanders to tie things up, but couldn't put one to the back of the net, let alone on net. Now back in deep. The Highlanders score! Hayden Guinea fires that puck past the blocker of Hallie Blanchard, and we are all tied up here in Windsor. Now work down the ice. It's back up the wall for Jenna Greenwood. She works up the far side, sends one into the offensive zone. It's turned aside and turned back up the other way by Adriana Pepe. She works in. Nice move to the backhand, flips one in. And on the back door, it sits there. The slap shot is blocked in front. And the second rebound is blocked in front as well. Lila Blanchard working in, trying to find an option. She pokes it around one man, can't get around the other, so it's worked up the near side wall and out to center. They'll have to reset. That one's sent into the zone by Catsolotos. At the top of the zone, it comes back to the line. That shot wide of the net from Bowie. I know, a chance in for Cormier. She just rips that one wide of the net. Now McNeil from her own zone will work one ahead for the Saints, working into the offensive zone. McFree chops at it. McNeil gives chase in the offensive zone in the near side corner. It's worked back to the point, held in at the line, blocked on its way to the net, and this one gets back to McDougall. She'll send one deep once again. Back forward is Addison Smith. Up the wall she goes. That one's in a neutral ice, so back into Saints possession. And into the offensive zone. It's behind the net, picked up by Doctorow, and she'll go off the glass, not out. Second opportunity, she'll get out into neutral ice, but Bowie will send one back down into the Highlanders zone. A lot of time spent down in the Highlanders zone on this shift. Got to get something going here and work their way back out to neutral ice. It's picked up and sent up to center. Bowie goes cross ice into the middle. A chance. And that was taken away off the stick of Kirsten McKinnon. Now Guinea, the latest goal scorer, will send one into the offensive zone, but that finds its way to the corner. In the center, Katsalotos drops for Pepe. And now around on the far side. That's knocked back down low by Jordan Williamson, the Kamloops native. She's coast to coast out here. And now a hit coming. Greenwood took a bump up high. And Adriana Pepe will head off to the box. We'll await the call here at center from the official. It's going to be an interference call. And Greenwood threw the head back, trying to get an extra 2 minutes up on the board, or maybe make the official think twice about the call he was about to make, but only an interference, so only 2 on the board. Jefford at the point. Walks in. That one's tipped wide of the net. And the rebound sent to the front. Now back up top for Heather Lawton. Across. And that one turned aside. Jefford tries to go back door, and that one taken away. McLean couldn't get that one, but Heather Lawton there to hold the line momentarily and slaps it back in. A chance now for the Saints to get this one down the ice. This one sent down. Heather Lawton starts from her own zone, up the wall to Jefford. Jefford goes around the zone trying to set up. Back to the point to Underhill, and that one well wide. It's out of the zone, and back in come the Highlanders. This time it's Emma Joan Lawton. Now Rido couldn't get a stick on that one on the far side. Comstock in there trying to work it free. Emma Joan Lawton in there as well, trying to help out her teammates. Bowie's in there for the Saints. She's going to work it free around the end wall, and this one gets to the point. Charlie Underhill keeps that in. And now a chance in front, turned aside by Hallie Blanchard. And a face-off will come to her glove side with 2:42 left to go here in the opening frame. Down the far side, worked in to the zone by Kirsten McKinnon, sent towards the net. It's wide of the net. Back of the point, held in by McDougall. Sent back down into the corner. The captain, Underhill, will go cross ice. This one picked up at center, worked into the zone, but Williamson goes up the wall, and she'll slap this one cross ice, intended there for McDougall. She lifts one high out to center. Off the wall is, or the head of Smith, rather, excuse me. And that one worked into the offensive zone by the Saints, played in front. That shot turned off the pad of Zeller. Now back to the point. That shot, it hit a body on the way through, unable to make its way to the net. Now that puck bounced straight off the wall, right back onto the stick of Greve. She'll work in and send this one deep into the corner. The Highlanders trying to get a quick breakout going here. Up through the middle is McLean. Walking in, her shot high and wide of the net. That one's off the glass and played back to McDougall behind the Saints zone. Now a chance out front. That one just goes under the stick. Jefford sends one to the net. It's wide, and now a chance away for the Saints. It's Lila Blanchard working up one-on-one. Her move to the middle is turned aside and back out to center. This one goes. It's played up the wall. Jefford up to Greenwood, and that one's out to center, picked up by McDougall. She'll work one up to center, and that'll do it for the first period of play. So after 20 minutes, the Mount Academy Saints and Kings Edgehill Highlanders tied at 1 apiece here from the birthplace of hockey. My name's Jaden Camo saying stay with us because we'll have the second period coming right up. We're just about set for the second period of play here from the birthplace of hockey. It's the second semifinal. And through one period of play, the Kings Edgehill School Highlanders and the Mount Academy U19 Saints tied at 1. And we're just about set for the opening puck drop here in the second period of play. And we're underway. Pepe trying to get something going off the draw. It's worked back door, and she just couldn't get a stick on it. Now a chance for the Highlanders. Breaking in 2-on-1. McLean, her shot off the blocker. And now Jefford working in. She tries to go down to Comstock. That one taken away and worked up the near side by Lefebvre. She goes over to the far side. That's into neutral ice. Now Williamson down low. She plays one up the wall. Now flipped to center. Played back into neutral ice. And the Saints able to move this one into the offensive zone. It's Gajan Saxamek giving chase down in the corner. Shot from the point is blockered away. And the Saints trying to get something going here. It's knocked back down into the Highlander zone, but that'll be called an icing as Doctorow goes back to touch up. Off the draw, this one's picked up by Ratana Kajan-Saxamet. She works into the offensive zone trying to make a move. She made a pretty nice one earlier in the first period to the back end. So she's obviously got a nice set of mitts. This one's worked into the zone, dropped back for getting her shot over the net. Into the corner, Florgale McNeil there for it. She had that one poked off her stick. And picked back up by Katsoloto. She goes up the far side wall. And that's into traffic. Poked back around the near side and up ahead. And back out to the line by McKinnon. It's played into the zone. Schlagman goes around the end wall. And now a chance away for Cormier. She's got two Saints working down in on the far side. That one goes wide. Now a trip coming here to the Highlanders. An offensive zone penalty. Not something you want to be taking 200 feet from your own net. And it's going to be Bria Cormier heading off for the trip. Off the draw, it's played back to the line for Pepe. The music's still blaring here at the West End Sports Complex. They finally shut that off. They've been a little slow on the clock this morning. So slow that I thought this first game was run time, which it obviously wasn't. Now a chance sent on net. That one turned aside. Pepe out at the slot. That one off the blocker as well. Back to the top of the zone. It's Hand it off to McDougal. Now down on the half wall to Pepe. She goes back up top. McDougal fires one that's well wide of the net. Played back up to the top of the zone. Grev gonna walk in and fire a backhander towards the goal. And that one's cleared out and into the offensive zone by McLean. She works past Pepe. She's held to the line, or held to the wall rather, behind the Saints goal. Pepe able to pick this one up. She'll stop up, go back across for McDougal, who goes cross ice. Back for Pepe. She's got this one working into the offensive zone. Back door. And that one turned aside. Gets back to the point for McKinnon. Her shot goes wide of the net. And Baker goes back to the point. McKinnon down low. And that one worked wide of the net. Back to the point they go. Catching Sexumet. Her shot is turned aside off the pad. Now back at the top of the zone. It's Katsalotos to Kajun Saxamet, and she'll fire one off the side of the goal. Might have fanned on that one a little bit as Cormier out of the box. In alone is Emma Joan Lawton. And that one's wide of the net. Now a chance up away. They couldn't spring Caitlin Herring. She has the early goal for Mount. And she works back in. Her shot off the back pad of Sophie Zettler. And that'll be an icing call. Charge to Kings Edgehill, so back down the ice we go, 200 feet to the other end. Face off one back to the point by McDougal. She hands it off to Penny. And that one just tipped wide of the net. Florgale McNeil picks it up. She drops that one for McDougal. She's trying to find an option, sends one along the ice down low. No, to center. McPhee had that one poked off her stick. And Penny sitting all alone in front. That one's still sitting right in front. Able to be cleared down the ice, and that'll be another icing call. Charge to Kings Edgehill. So just over 13 and a half left to go in this middle frame. 1-1 in the score. 16-14, the Highlanders lead in the shot department. Smith was knocked off the puck down low. This one's played out to the line. Katsalotos couldn't get a stick on that one. And now Williamson's got to go all the way back, but that's an icing call. Charged once again to the Highlanders. Now off the draw, it's played back down the ice. It'll be into the Mount Academy possession, and They turn this one over quickly. Played down low. Jefford's on it in the far side corner now. Back out to the top of the zone. This one finds the stick of Jefford, but she just missed it on the dump-in attempt, so the Saints able to play this one up the wall. It's Lila Blanchard going to the net. She's got someone to the back door, and they score! Sydney Sass on the back door. As the goal call gets drowned out from the screams from the bench. The Mount Academy Saints have taken a 2-1 lead. Pepe off the draw, back into the offensive zone, fires one on net. That was a shot from Grev. Now back at the top of the zone, McDougall will work in. She fires one into the slot. It's picked up by the Highlanders. A penalty will come. And just like that, Jenna Greenwood goes to the box, and the Highlanders are off to the penalty kill. And the Saints, just after scoring that latest, will have a chance to double their lead here. Back at the point, McDougall to Pepe. They'll set up once again. Adriana Pepe drops for Grev. She works in, that's along the ice into traffic, and she'll get the return feed. Back down to McDougall. Across for Grev. Her shot, looking for the stick of Sass in the slot, trying to tip one towards the goal. It's picked up by Baker. She'll walk in, fire one towards the net. It's bobbled by the glove of Zettler and sent down the ice. Now Baker on the half wall, trying to break one in. On the back end, she's got it poked off her stick by Schlagman, but Schlagman unable to get one further than the point. It's Pepe. She walks in with some space to the slot. That one's turned aside. Pepe still on it, on the near side corner. Gonna work to the slot. Feed one back door. Kadrin Sexemet's shot off a pad, and the rebound sent wide. This one's sent around the wall. This will go all the way down the ice, back into the Highlanders zone, or the Saints zone rather. All the way around the zone. Ratana Kadrin Sexemet goes up top for Katsalotos. Katsalotos shot. That one's off the glove. Back into the corner. Up top for Kadrin Sexemet. She walks the line trying to find an option. Back to Katsalotos. Her shot. And the rebound. They score. Sarah Penny picks up the loose puck, shelves it, and it's a 3-1 lead now for the Mount Academy Saints. The Highlanders work this one into the offensive zone. Comstock tried to play one into the zone. It's off his stick. Jefford will pick this one up. Try to set up in the offensive zone. She goes cross ice for Heather Lawton, but that one's taken and sent down the ice, giving chase. And they'll touch up. So we'll go back down to the Saint zone for this draw. 9:05 left to go here in the middle period. After this one, I'm off to Moncton. Some U16 AAA action later tonight at the Greenfoot Energy Center between the Dartmouth Voyageurs and the Moncton Thunderbirds. One of 4 games today in the U16 AAA Hockey League. The action in the U16 AAA League begins at 3 when the Western Rebels take a trip to the Sackville Community Arena to face the Kings Hockey Club. Now a chance for Florigale McNeil, working in to the backhand. She tries to chip one on the forehand after that, and it's turned aside by Zettler, who gets a little shower there from Herring. And then tomorrow morning in the U16 AAA League, it'll be a battle for first place. If the St. John Vitoes can take this one tonight and then take the morning game over the Eastern Dukes, they'll move into first place, as the Cabot Highlanders have done so with 42 points after their win last night over Valley. Now a chance in. This one's turned aside. And like I mentioned earlier, some U18 playoff action in the Nova Scotia U18 Major Hockey League. The Marcha-Milko Hunters will take on the Weeks Majors in Game 2 of their playoff series. It's a 1-0 lead for the Weeks after their 4-3 win at home. It was a close comeback. The Hunters almost able to come back late in that one, but just running out of time, allowing the Weeks to take a 1-0 series lead. Now, this one's worked back into the zone by Greve. She tries to go short side and shelf one, but that's upstairs out of play into the netting, so we'll get another face-off. This one going to the near side. Katsouloros at the point, goes back down to Greve. She sends one towards the net. Pepe just couldn't get there on the back door in time. She sends one back into the corner. And that's chipped up out of play. This will hit the netting, and a face-off will come right outside the Highlander zone. McKinnon trying to work one into the offensive zone, plays it ahead for Herring. Back out front, that one taken away, and Baker gets that puck, plays it back to the point to Williamson. Her shot blocked in front. This one's sent into the corner. Up the wall. Herring tried to play one back into center. It's worked up. Jordan Williamson, the River City native, will play one further ahead. (7:12 a.m. where Williamson's from, so if anybody out in Kamloops is turning in, we say hello. Cheering on Jordan Williamson and the Mount Saints. This one gets back to the point. Her shot turned aside on the rebound. It's put back into the corner. And now sent behind the net around the wall. It's picked up by McKinnon at the point. Tipped in front of the net. And the rebound just couldn't be corralled down low by McPhee. It's Katsalotos. She picks it up, walks down the wall. Couldn't find an option. So she'll walk back around the top of the zone. Dropping it off. And now backdoor, McNeil just couldn't settle it. Penny. Backhand flip up to McKinnon. And that one gloved on. And they'll hold on for the face-off. 5:36 left to go here in the second frame. The shot's 25-16 now in favor of the Mount Academy Saints. Kings Edgehill hasn't put a shot on net since I mentioned the shots earlier in this period. Now back to the point, McDougall. Sends one around the wall. It's picked up at the point, held in by Kajan Saxamet. Now Kajan Saxamet plays it in her own zone. Showing off those silky mitts that she was showing off earlier in this one. Just couldn't get that one across in time to Blanchard. Now McLean working in. She's held off wide of the net. And Greenwood comes in as well to help out. Referee was almost blind to that trip as Greenwood tripped up behind the play. Now Williamson up through center. Ahead to Pepe. She works in. Drops for Greve. And that shot turned aside. On the drive from Addison Greve. Now off the draw. Pepe controls one more time. Off the face-off. Goes back to Williamson. Her shot off a stick or a leg in front. Goes into the corner. Back up top. Work down low. Katsalotos goes up top for her partner at the point, Williamson. And Pepe's shot from the point. Found the blocker. Now back to the point for Williamson, excuse me. That one's turned aside to the point. And working in is Greenwood to the back door. She's got McLean. And that one's off the pad. Great save there. Keeping that one out as Sass works in. Sends one to the back door. That's cleared and sent back as McKinnon sends one into the corner. It's picked up by the Highlanders. But a good job there from Pepe and Herring. Herring now behind the net for Baker. She's taken down. No call on the play. Now McDougall behind the net. Played one around. That's held at the line. Herring now will play one out to center into the slot. And a long pass up, tipped in by Kirsten McKinnon. And with just over 2 to go, It's played up for Jack. Isabella Jack. Taken down, the puck sent back to the point. Doctorow's shot blocked. She'll walk in and fire one towards the net. It's back to the point. Smith, and that one's bobbled and covered up by Holly Blanchard. We're going to face off with 1:35 to go in this middle frame. This one's worked out to center. Florgale McNeil on it. This one taken away, sent into the offensive zone, and back down deep. Doctorow gonna send it up the wall. McKinnon, cross ice with the final 60 in the second upon us. Florgale McNeil working into the slot. That one goes through everybody and works its way to the half wall. At the point, McKinnon just couldn't keep that one in. It works all the way out to Kajan Saxamet. She works into the offensive zone. Stops up. Drops one off for Alyssa McKinnon. Her shot towards the net off the body in front of Blanchard and just wide. Blanchard now circling around the zone. Back up top to the point. Shot can't make its way to the net. It's turned aside in front by Jenna Greenwood. She'll work in the offensive zone and centers one in front. That's just wide by McLean, and that'll do it for the second period of play. So through two, the Mount Academy Saints U19 squad has a 3-1 lead on the Kings Edge Hill Highlanders. We'll be right back for the third period, so stay tuned. 20 miles, 20 smiles, 20 minutes left to go in the final period here in the Maritime Prep Women's Hockey League semifinal. It's the second semifinal of the day. And the Kings Edgehill Highlanders are in a little bit of trouble, facing some adversity. Down 2-1 on home ice to the Mount Academy Saints. We're just about set for the third period, and we're underway. This one's sent into the Mount zone. Williamson plays it around the wall. It's back up for Jefford, and she's able to keep this one in. Plays it back in for excuse me, that was mishandled. And now into the Saint zone. Puck battle down low. Heather Lawton picks this one up, throws it around the near side. Picked up by Jefford, through center goes McLean. That shot from Greenwood goes off a body. It's played down low into the corner. A battle for the puck. Comes back onto the stick of Greenwood. That's just taken away and worked up to Kajan Saxamet. She works down on the near side. Ratana Kajan Saxamet tried to play one into the center. That was taken away. Back out to neutral ice. Comstock played it into the zone. McDougall corrals and sends one back out to center. But a chance in for the Highlanders. That shot right on to Hallie Blanchard. She'll hold on for the faceoff. Oh, a chance in front. That one turned aside, and the rebound sits there. It's cleared away by Florgale McNeil. Back to Katsalotos. Up the wall for Williamson. That's chipped ahead. Just out of the reach of Penny. McPhee gets that puck though, and she'll work it back into the offensive zone. Back around the wall, Penny down low for McNeil. She gives chase on the far side with Schlagman. And it's pinned around the near side wall. Now starting the breakout from her own zone. That's Herring. She's going to walk in, send one off a shin pad. And now behind the net, Baker. Trying to set up. That's into the corner. Now Heather Lawton. Up the wall in the center. Picked up by Isabella Jack. She works into the slot. That one's turned aside. Baker moves on into the bench, and a face-off will come now back inside the Saints' zone. Off the draw, the Saints gain control. Pepe tried to fly through the neutral zone and pick that one up. She couldn't find a stick. And now on the far side, it's Addison Grev. She'll work in. This one's played around the wall. Picked up on the near side by Greenwood and sent forward. And now McLean trying to drive in. She gets taken down by the referee. And now a chance to the back door. That one's turned aside once, twice. And now back to Smith. Blockered up into the far corner. This one's played down the wall. An icing call going to be called, but back to grab that in time is Doctorow. She stumbles behind her own net, plays one up to Smith. She takes her time getting this one into the offensive zone. Had Comstock right up at the near blue, ready to break in. Now Smith once again sends it into the offensive zone from the wrong side of the red, but the linesmen say no ice. Now Kedron-Sack-Smith goes up to Lila Blanchard. Her shot turned aside. And we're going to face off back down in the Highlanders zone. 15:05 to go. Now picked up back behind the net. Out to center, it's picked up by McDougall. She's going to go with speed out through neutral ice. This one's slapped up into the offensive zone, and Heather Lawton trying to break this one out. This one's turned aside and turned over into Saints possession now. It's Katsalotos trying to work one up. Up through center now. Greenwood trying to work into the offensive zone. Fire a backhand into the slot. Couldn't find anybody in a blue jersey. It's back up to the skipper, Underhill, and she'll fire one down into the zone. It's played up through neutral ice. That'll be an icing call charge of the Saints once the Highlanders touch up. And with 13:54 to go, we'll head back down to the Saints zone. The Saints trying to keep tight and keep a hold of this 2-0 lead. If they do, they'll face back off against the RNS Riverhawks in the championship game. And the loser of this one will face off against the Mount Academy U18 Saints. Florgale McNeil poked the stick right out of the hands of Greenwood. And some would say, you better have a harder grip on your stick. Now this pass is dropped. A nice move into the middle, but the backhand turned aside in front. Florgale McNeil trying to chase after this one. Her stick caught up as she ran over both of those defenders. Baker behind the net. Tried to work one free, and she gets the second chance. Driving down into the offensive zone. Throws one towards the net. And it's worked up the wall. And Black sends one cross ice. Picked up now. And sent to Katsalotos. She goes up through the slot. Up to Kirsten McKinnon. That one just couldn't find her stick. And back to Katsalotos. Walks in to the backhand. That one's sent towards the net. Turn aside, and they'll work it back up the far side wall. Bowie lays one around the wall. Heather Lawton first to it. Sends one into the slot. That one couldn't find the intended recipient. And now Sass strips the puck on the far side, but it's picked up by Guinea. She got the lone goal here for the Highlanders, and she's stripped. It's Addison Greve working in to the backhand. She's trying to drive around. Out front, Pepe. Couldn't get his stick to go. And now back on the far point. It's McDougall. She walks in. She'll send a long shot off the pad. That's into the corner. Bowie will send one back towards the net. It's gloved up and held on to for the face-off with 11:27 left to go here in the third period. Back at the point, Katsuloto sends one around the wall. It gets to the far side, and it's played out of the zone by the Highlanders and down into the offensive zone. McLean giving chase down low. Excuse me, that's Comstock. And now up ahead for Gudgeon Saxamet. She was taking off the puck there. And now Comstock racing back down on it. She's going to get beat to the puck by Katsalotos. And it's worked up the far side. Just held in off the stick of Williamson. That one's played back behind the net. Picked up by Rideout. And now a penalty coming here to Mount as Gudgeon Saxamet touches up. It's going to be Lila Blanchard going off for the penalty. We'll see what the call is. So 2 minutes on the board for Lila Blanchard. Didn't quite catch that. The official call from the referee is a hook. Greenwood works out. Her shot sent toward the net. That's played back off the wall. Jefford able to keep it in. Goes back down and intended for McLean. That one popped out of the zone, so they'll have to reset. Jefford cross ice for Greenwood. She walks in, sends a shot off a body, and that's into the corner. Now up top, Lawton's shot goes off a pad, and Jefford will corral on the far side, working it in. She's pinned off the puck by Alyssa McKinnon. Up the wall, Greenwood. Down low, and that's sent back out to the top of the slot. McLean's shot wide on the blocker side. Just over 9 to go here in this regulation. And that one goes through the crease. McLean tried to wrap one on the near side. Now pass to Jefford. Gets back for Lawton. Down low. McLean couldn't handle that one cleanly. And it's back up top to Heather Lawton. Down to McLean. Her shot blocked. Jefford was wide open cross ice. And now into the slot. This one's bobbled. Penny's on it. She's going to rip one around the wall, but Jefford is going to be there to keep this one in. Cross ice back to McLean. Up to the top of the zone. Lawton. That one's off a stick. And away goes Sydney Sass. Trying to break in, and that one's dumped in. Sent off the wall. This one's going to be chipped at. Comstock couldn't get a stick on it, so it's held at the line. And now puck battle will ensue right in front. Adriana Pepe held up at the line as well. Now Comstock the other way. She'll go one-on-one. Couldn't get past Grev, so she sent it back down into the corner. A penalty coming now to the Saints again. Sass is going to get there. She'll touch up. And so that'll send the Highlanders back to the power play. We'll see who gets this call. It's going to be Bowie. We'll await the official call on that as well. So back up top, Underhill. Her shot goes through a line of traffic. No puck battle behind the net. It's worked free by the Highlanders. 3 of them in there. This is Emma Joan Lawton. But the puck sent down the ice by Avery McPhee, killing some crucial seconds here on this Kings Edge Hill power play. Now to the slot. McPhee picks that one up. She's got Doctorow all over her, trying to work that one free, as well as McLean. Now into the neutral ice. Lefebvre gets a stick on that one. She plays it out into the neutral zone. And now Williamson and McLean getting tied up on the far side. It's Jefford who picks this one up. Sends it to the front of the net. And what a save! Jefford trying to go backdoor, but that one turned aside, and now another chance for the Highlanders. Slid in front, and they score. Jenna Greenwood picks up that loose puck, and you know what they say, it's never a bad idea to throw one at the net. That's exactly what she did. Finds the back of the net. And we are back to a 1-goal game here in Windsor. The Highlanders trying to get their way into the championship game here on home ice. You definitely don't want to be playing in that third place game as the host team. Now Herring. Out to the slot. Grev couldn't get a stick on that one, but in comes Sydney Sash, trying to intercept, walk, and score! Just after the Highlanders found some life, Sydney Sass goes upstairs and says not just yet. The 2-goal lead is restored for Mount. And we will see what the next 4 minutes and 46 seconds bring. We'll see when the Highlanders pull their goalie now down by 2. Back down low, McDougal gets a stick on it, plays it up the wall, poked off the stick of Comstock, but the captain Underhill will send it down around the wall. Addison Greve working up that near side. Now up through the center, it's Jenna Greenwood. She has the second Highlanders goal coming just minutes ago before the latest from Sydney Sass. Gudgeon Saxon goes cross ice. Her pass just out of the reach of Lefebvre. And now Underhill to Lefebvre. Up through center to Gudgeon Saxon. Up across the line. That one's sent down into the corner. Once again showing off her good IQ and silky mitts is Ratana Gudgeon Saxon. Back to the point. This one held in by McKinnon. The rebound goes across for Bowie, and her shot just fluttered wide of the net. Lila Blanchard on it. That one's taken away by Heather Lawton. She's going to work up the near side. 1-on-1 with McKinnon. McKinnon holds her off to the corner in front. Black, and that one's, or Jack, excuse me. That one's turned aside. Isabella Jack, her shot once again off the pad and into the corner. Now Smith, blocked in front. She'll send another shot high and wide over the net. This one's poked around. Comstock's there to grab it. And that's held on to for the face-off. So face-off, or a timeout, excuse me, called by the Highlanders. We'll be right back here on iButton. .2:11 left on the clock. 2 minutes and 11 seconds for the Kings Edgehill School Highlanders to get 2 goals on the board. They've got an empty net, 6-on-5. And we're underway. This one's held in at the line by McLean. She goes down momentarily to the half wall, and a hit at center is going to be called. But Florgale McNeil out to grab this one. And the Highlanders touch up. A little bit of a blindside hit out at center. Calling for the trainer, the Highlanders trainer coming out. Didn't quite catch a number, not sure which Saint that is. So a penalty definitely coming on that one. There was an initial call going to be called by the referee. Only a minute 48 left to go. And they'll probably work that into their decision. It's a 4-2 lead for the Mount Academy U19 Saints. They lead the shot department 33-30. help to her feet. That was Sarah Penny down, but she's back up to her own 2 feet, able to make it back to the bench under her own power. So that's a good sign for the Saints. And the Highlanders will they'll be shorthanded. Don't see. Oh, never mind. I do see a Highlander in the box. So, yeah, so 5-on-4 power play for the rest of the game for the Saints. Not something you want to be looking at up on the board if you're the Highlanders right now, and especially down 2 goals. Pepe picks it up at the top of the zone, drops off. Grev goes across to McDougall. Her shot turned aside, and they'll hold on for the faceoff. Off the draw, McDougall corrals, goes to Adriana Pepe. She drops off to Addison Grev up top, back for Pepe. She winds, fires, knocks the stick right out of the hands of McLean. And all the way down behind their net. Pepe will start up for the Saints. Pepe with speed up through center. She's going to drive, stop up at the bottom of the circle, and work her way back to the top of the zone. Adriana Pepe to Grev with 53 seconds now in the third period. McDougall shoots. That's off a skate into the corner. Rotana Kajan-Saxaman works over the line. She drops for McKinnon. That's gloved on and bobbled in front. The rebound is just put wide of the net. And with 15 to go, McKinnon back to play. One last rush for the Saints. Might not matter. Comstock comes in trying to work one free, but that will do it. And the Maritime Prep Women's Hockey League Championship weekend will come down to a rematch in the final game of the 1 and 2 seed game yesterday between the U19 Saints and the RNS Riverhawks. The Mount Academy U19 Saints picking up a 4-2 win over the host Kings Edgehill Highlanders today. The Highlanders will move on to the to face the U18 Mount squad in the third place game later on this afternoon. My name is Dayton Camo for High Button Sports, saying thank you for tuning into this one. And that concludes our coverage of the Maritime Prep Women's Hockey League Championship weekend here from the birthplace of hockey. Thank you for tuning into High Button Sports. We've got a slate of games across the network today, starting with the week's majors and Marchand Milko Hunters in about half an hour time for Game 2 of their Nova Scotia U18 Major Hockey League Final Series. And we will